This is according to Us Magazine. This article was written by Eliza Thompson. Original Scream cast reacts to Neve Campbell's Scream 6 exit. She's the center of the franchise. And this article was in March of 2023, so this was actually just a couple days before Scream 6 was released in theaters. Scream fans were delighted when Paramount announced a sixth entry in the franchise, but the news came with a caveat. Neve Campbell wouldn't be coming back. In June of 2022, Neve Campbell revealed that she exited the project over a salary dispute. She said, "Sadly, I won't be making the next Scream film. As a woman, I have had to work extremely hard in my career to establish my value, especially when it comes to Scream. I felt the offer that was presented to me did not equate to the value I have brought to the franchise." The Canada native noted that it was a very difficult decision to move on from the beloved horror franchise. "To all my Scream fans, I love you. You've always been so incredibly supportive to me. I'm forever grateful to you and to what this franchise has given me over the past 25 years. The first Scream film debuted in 1996 and also starred Drew Barrymore, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, and Skeet Ulrich. After 3 sequels and a decade-long break, the franchise returned to the big screen in January of 2022 with a 5th slasher, Scream 5. It marked the first installment in the series that wasn't directed by the late Wes Craven, but several of the original cast members, including Cox, Arquette, and Campbell, returned for the flick. Yeah, so there were cast members, not just of the original, but there were also cast members over the other Scream films, including 5, Jenna Ortega, Melissa Barrera. A few others had a few words in response to the absence of Neve Campbell / Sidney Prescott in Scream 6. A lot of them didn't seem too happy about it, but let's see what they had to say here. The 5th Scream film, I'm sorry, I'm off a little bit. David Arquette, for his part, was happy to reunite with everyone for the movie, including his ex-wife, Courtney Cox, whom he met on the set of the first film. He said, "It's great when you know people really well and you get to act opposite them," he said. He told Us in January of 22 of working with the Friends alum. "There's just little stuff about them in general as people, so it makes it really uncomfortable. And you know, they say like 80% of the communication is nonverbal, so the more you know someone, obviously you're going to have advantages." Scream 5 featured the death of Arquette's character Dewey Riley, but it left the door open for Campbell and Cox to return. After the skyscraper actress announced she wouldn't come back, one of her newer co-stars weighed in to express support for her decision. Jasmine Savoy, who played Mindy, said this, "I absolutely respect her for that. I think that it is hard to be a woman in this industry, in indie and in any industry at all. If any person, but especially any woman, feels that she deserves more, whether that's a financial situation to work out, with work, out of a relationship, out of fill in the blank, if she can walk away, I support that." Keep scrolling, apparently that's what I'm doing. Here's what Jenna Ortega had to say. She told Elle in March of 23, "It was really unfortunate, especially because Neve is the coolest, sweetest, most talented lady. The franchise wouldn't be what it is without her." Courtney Cox, who told Variety, "I missed working with her, but I'm going to support whatever she feels is right." Melissa Barrera, who played Sam. Courtney Cox was Gail. Jenna Ortega was Tara. David Arquette was Dewey. Melissa Barrera, during an interview with Us in July 2022, Barrera opened up about how the cast has been adjusting to Campbell's absence. She said, "It's hard thinking that we're making a movie without her. We can't get too hung up on that because we got to make another movie. Of course, Sydney is present. Her essence is present in the movie. You can't just ignore that." At the time, Melissa Barrera noted that everyone was heartbroken by the news, adding, "But we totally understand and respect her decision, and hopefully if we get to make another one, we can have her back." David Arquette, who played Dewey, said, "I'd love for her to be a part of it. A Scream movie without Sydney is kind of unfortunate, but I understand her decision." It's all a business in a way. They have to balance all these elements to fit a budget and produce a film. I get it. She's still alive. She can absolutely be in future ones, but I think it's up to fans to call for that one, to call for that in the future. Jamie Kennedy, who played Randy Meeks in Screams 1 and 2, he said, Hollywood, this is a clear example of how twisted the system is. Sidney Prescott is the center of Scream. Neve Campbell is the face of Scream. Ghostface chasing her throughout the whole franchise. Neve is the final girl. It's crazy that the people behind the scenes are not paying the money to literally the face of the franchise. It's people who weren't involved from the get-go. This is everything that's wrong with the business. Strong words right there. That's powerful words right there. Matthew Lillard, who played Stu Macher, he said this. He said, did Tom Cruise take less money for Top Gun Maverick? No, dude. So why is a woman supposed to take less? Why wouldn't you pay her more as the series goes on? Was Scream 5 a hit or not a hit? It was definitely a hit, especially for the horror franchise, especially for the horror industry. It was a smash hit. Did they make a ton of money? Yes. Should Neve Campbell be paid for the work she's done in 5 movies of a franchise? Yes, because she's a female lead of one of the most successful horror franchises. Emma Roberts, who played Jill Roberts in Scream 4, she said this. Someone just sent me that news last night and I was like, this can't be real news. Like, this has to be fake. I mean, she's queen. That's all I have to say. Jasmine Savoy, and by the way, Emma Roberts was in Scream Queens. Haven't gotten to that yet, but I have that on the list. It's just kind of funny how that's together. Jasmine Savoy, who played Mindy. I absolutely respect her for that. I think it's hard to... Okay, I already read that part earlier. They already stated that earlier. Okay. So, now here's the question. Here's a couple questions. One, is Neve Campbell going to come back? Because as I mentioned in a video before, I was at a convention recently, and I've heard at least 2 people say that they've got confirmation that Neve Campbell will return. I've looked online for that, and I haven't seen an official confirmation. I have seen plenty of speculation, but hopefully that speculation turns into reality, and maybe she will be back. The other question being, can the franchise survive without her? That is debatable. Now, that's arguable. Now, a number of people will say, well, you know, if she decides to leave, that's okay, and then we'll move on, and we got Sam and Tara as the final girls, and, you know, if one of them is killed off or dies or whatever, then you have the other one that's the final girl. The other ones are saying, hey, she was the one who was here since the beginning, so how can you not have the original in, you know, if they, hypothetically, if they were to do Screams, you know, 7, 8, 9, even 10, and she's just not there, the question is, would it be the same? There's arguments for both. I guess I would prefer it if she was there, but like they said, ultimately it's her decision, and they have to respect her decision, and they stand by that, and they support her. It's a tough one, really. It's a tough one. But Jenna's right. The Scream franchise is what it is because of Neve Campbell, and because of the couple others too, but especially her. Protagonist, final girl for the first 4 movies, and a main character in Scream 5, but wasn't regarded as the final girl in that one. So, you know, I completely respect the fact and applaud all these people for supporting her and standing by her. All these people made the franchise what it is, so that includes Neve, Courtney, David, all of you, Melissa, Jenna, so all of you. So I think the franchise, as long as all of you are still there, and as long as you're supporting her, and as long as her essence, her presence is still available in the Scream franchise, I think it will survive. So I'll talk more about this in upcoming videos, and that's it for this.